Okay, next we have planning and operational variance. Okay. Again, let's look at question and then I will explain what each of them are because I want to link them to questions so that you better understand. So required, calculate the following variances for month of November for both bed sheets and pillowcases. And in total, we have material price planning variance, material price operational variance, material usage planning variance, and material usage operational variance. So we have three marks for each of them. And then assess performance of the production manager for the month of November. Bedco manufactures bed sheets and pillowcases, which it supplies to major hotel chain. It uses just-in-time system and holds no inventory. Just-in-time means production when there is demand. Yeah. The standard cost for the cotton which is used to make the bed sheets and pillowcases is $5 per square meter. Each bed sheet uses 2 square meters of cotton and each pillowcase uses 5.5 square meters. Production levels for bed sheets and pillowcases for November were as follows. Budgeted production levels in units: 120,000 bed sheets, 190,000 pillowcases. Actual production: 120,000 bed sheets and 180,000 pillowcases. Remember, we use actual production or budgeted? Actual production. The actual cost of the cotton in November was $5.8 per square meter. 248,000 square meters of cotton was used to make the bed sheets and 95,000 square meter was used to make pillowcases. The world commodity prices for cotton increased by 20% in month of November. So prices change in the whole world, yeah? At the beginning of the month, the hotel chain made an unexpected request for immediate design change to the pillowcases. The new design requires 10% more cotton than previous. It also resulted in production delays and therefore a shortfall in production of 10,000 pillowcases in total that month. The production manager at Bedco is responsible for all buying and any production issues which occur, although he is not responsible for setting of standard costs. Okay, so all of these variances that we studied, the basic variances, the material, the labor, they can be further divided in 2 parts: planning variance and operational variance. Okay? What is planning variance? This variance is caused because the plan or budget was not appropriate. Now, result could be different because of 2 reasons. Yeah? When we actually see the result and we look at the variance, it could be because of 2 reasons. One, the plan was not correct. That's why the result is not correct. Or second is the performance. The actual performance was not correct. Or both. Okay? So the planning variance is the part where the budget is wrong. Let's say some part is that the budget was wrong. That part would be called planning variance. Okay? So we made mistake. Let's say there was variance of $4,000. $1,000 difference is because the budget was not correct. That would be called planning variance. Okay? If I talk about material price. Then operational variance is the actual performance. This variance is caused because the actual performance was not good. Okay? Let's say 3,000 was because we actually didn't purchase the right way. 1,000, the reason was because the prices in the market was market change. We didn't have anything to do with that. So that is called planning variance. 3,000, we bought it expensive. There was a shopkeeper who sold it expensive. We didn't know market price. Doesn't make sense. So all these variances can be divided in 2 parts. So specifically in this chapter, they are asking material price variance. material usage variance, and then planning and operations. We can do this for labor as well. Labor rate, planning variance, labor rate, operational variance. Labor efficiency, planning variance, labor efficiency, operational variance. Okay? If you understand one, you understand the rest. Okay? And we will do questions as well, more questions just to help you understand better. Okay, so let's start. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to write original budget and then revised budget. And then I'll write here actual performance. If you compare actual performance with original performance, that gives you total variance. If you compare original budget with revised budget, it gives you planning variance. If you compare revised budget with actual performance, it gives you operational variance. Okay? So this is the total variance, but broken down in two parts. The planning part and the operational part. For planning part, those people are responsible who are involved in the standard setting, the budget setting. For operational variance, those people are responsible who are involved in day-to-day operations. Okay? So separate people are responsible for this. Separate people are responsible for this. If we make all of this and we put it on one person, it is not correct. Either putting it on one who is working in the actual performance, or either putting it on someone who is in the budget. Usually it will be put on someone who is involved in the actual performance. Okay? So it is responsibility of two regions. The top management involved in the setting and the lower level management involved in the operations. Okay? Let's see if I can find something. Let me write like this. Yeah, this is the total variance. Okay, total variance. And then when we look at these two, this is planning variance. And when we look at these two, it is operational variance. Does it make sense? Let's see. First, let's look at price. So if we find price and then divide it in two parts, would be planning and operational. That will be 6 easy marks. Yeah? So let's look at the original price. Originally, we have, let's look at the question again. Bedco manufactures bed sheets and pillowcases which it supplies to major hotel chains. It uses just-in-time system. The standard cost for cotton, which is used to make the bed sheets and pillowcases. So we have one material used in both bed sheets and pillowcases, which is cotton. So this is the price. This is my original budget. $5 per square meter. Cotton meter for function. Each bed sheet uses 2 square meters. Now this is use. I don't have anything to do with that. So this is actual production. The actual cost of the cotton in November was 5.8. So this is the actual performance. I'll write this here. 5.8. Okay. Okay. 248,000 square meters of cotton was used to make the bed sheets. 95,000 square meters was used to make pillowcases. The world commodity prices for cotton increased by 20%. If the prices in the world change, that means that the budget should also have changed. So that means that the revised budget should be $5 plus 20%. So 120%. So this should be the price. Okay? It is like you are asked to buy tomato, yeah? And you receive 50 avani for kg. And in the market, the price is, your family thinks that the price is 40, yeah? And you go and you bring it for 50. So they will tell you, why did you bring it expensive? But actually in the market, 60. Does it make sense? So you actually brought it cheaper. So in the market, see, even though this 5.8 seems higher than 5, but in the market the price is $6. So the actual performance is better. So when we compare these two, this is our planning variance, which is adverse. When we compare these two, we have operational variance, which is favorable. So planning variance in terms of price is adverse. Operational variance in terms of price is favorable. When we compare both, the original budget compared with revised, original budget with actual performance, we have 0.80 cents adverse. Now putting this whole thing on the operational manager is not good, or putting it on original. So actually $1 responsibility of the planning, the one who is involved in the standard setting, the performance of the operational manager is actually good. If we don't understand, we actually have to reward the operational manager for the performance. But if we don't understand better, we would think that he hasn't performed well. Okay? Now we have to know in total, yeah? So multiply by the quantities that we purchase. What quantity? The actual quantity, yeah? 248,000. The quantity purchased. 248,000 and 95,000. So equals 248,001 and 95,000. This is the total cotton purchased. So this multiplied by, this gives you 343,000 adverse. And let's bring it here as well. Remember, the quantity remains the same in price variance. The price changes. Okay? So, operational manager has actually saved 68,600 in terms of price. And then looking at total, if I write quantity here as well, and let's write this total here. Okay, let's take original budget and minus this. Okay, which is total. It will give us overall 274,400 spend more in terms of price. If we add these as well, it should give us the same thing. Okay. Now, if we didn't know the variance is better, we would ask our operational manager to come and ask them why did it cost expensive. But actually, he has performed better. Doesn't make sense. This is 6 marks. Easy. Yeah? We already know how to calculate. The only thing is just finding these prices. Remember, when we are talking about price, the quantity remains the same. The only thing that changes is price. Okay? This is total price variance. And what they asked is this figure. Okay? This is price planning variance, which is, remember, adverse. This is price operational, which remember is favorable. Price total hasn't been asked. Adverse. Okay. Next is usage. Now, the material is same for all products, yeah? for both products, we are using the same material, which is cotton. But the products are different and they use different quantities, so that's why we need to know them separately. If you look at bed sheets, they use 2 square meters. If you look at pillowcases, they use half square meter. So that's why I need to know separately for both of them. Pillow and bed. Okay. This is 2 and this is half. This is our original budget, yeah? What is the actual use? Actual use is 248,000 and 95,000. This is in total. Okay. 248,000 and 95,000. Because what you can do is you can convert this to per unit dividing by units, or you can convert this into total. Both of them would be okay. Yeah. Let's convert this into units. Multiply by how many units? 120,000. Remember, actual units, not budgeted. Actual units, 180,000. We should have used 240,000 square meter on pillowcases, where we actually used 248,000. We use more. We should have used 90,000 on bed sheets. We actually use 95,000. We use more. Okay, this is total variance. But we need to break it down in 2 parts, the planning part and the operational part. Now let's see what changed in the use. If you see here at the beginning of the month, the hotel chain made an unexpected request for an immediate design change to the pillowcases. The new design requires 10% more than previously. So there was change to the pillowcases. Okay? So, not the bed sheets, yeah? Pillowcases. So now, this multiplied by 110%. 10% more will be used. And there will be no change to bed, so I'll just multiply by 100%. Does it make sense? No change in the use of bed sheets, but there was change in the use of pillowcases. Okay? If I want to know specifically, for bed sheets we should have used 264,000, but we use 248,000, which is less. For actual performance, yeah? For bed sheets we should have used 90,000, we used 95,000, which is adverse. Does it make sense? So you don't have to know it for each of them specifically. Okay, you can just add total and then multiply by price. Okay. But if you want to know specifically, you will compare this with this. It will give you each product separately. Now we have a total variance of 2,400 adverse, 24,000 adverse, and we have usage 11,000 operational. Okay.
Again, the problem is with the planning.
Yeah. So if you want to be more specific, usage planning adverse for pillowcases, yeah. Usage operational favorable for pillowcases. And then 90,000 minus no variance, no change, because there was no change in the design, yeah. And then 16,000 minus 15,000 gives you 11,000. And then total is 24,000, so there is nothing there, so 24,000. We have to multiply this by price. Which price? There are two prices. This price, three prices actually. This price, this price, this price.
This one.
Which one? There are two standards. Original standard and revised. Remember, I told you when we talk about price, we talk about price. When we talk about quantity, we use standard price. Yeah? But there are two standards. Which standard should we use? The original standard or the revised standard?
The revised one.
There are two places actually. One is this and another is this. What should I use here and what should I use here? Standard price was 5, yeah? 5? And this one was revised, yeah? 6. Like this?
Yeah.
No, it's not like this. In both of them we use 5. We use the original price. In a minute I will show you how. Okay? This is where people make mistake, okay? Students make mistake. They are confused which price to use. Now, if I add both of them, yeah, what does it give me? Total variance, yeah, total usage variance, yeah? Or if you look at the original quantity and then the actual quantity, does it make sense? This is the difference, okay? Let me write it here. Original quantity total and actual quantity total. This is the total difference. All, yeah? Now what should I use here in total? Doesn't make sense. I should use 1, I can't use 2. If I was using 2 here, then what would I do here in total? Would I take 5 and 6 and then divide by 2? Or would I use 1? Does it make sense? So when you are calculating total variance, you are using one price. Either you are using the 6 price that you said, yeah? I've used 5 in both of them. Let's make this 6, yeah? Then you will understand the confusion. I know the quantity is 13,000. But when I'm calculating total variance, should I use the 6 price or should I use the 5 price? Does it make sense? So that's why we are using just one price. Okay? Now if I multiply this by 5, it should give me the same thing. Okay, which is 65,000. 120,000 minus 55,000 gives you 65,000. Does it make sense? So when we talk about price, we talk about the change in price, yeah, which we change here. When we talk about quantities, we talk about change in quantity. We use the original standard price. Does it make sense? It will be double counting if we look at price here as well, and then we change price here as well. The effect will be double. One's effect will come here, another time effect will come here. We have already considered that there. Okay, so when we talk about usage, we only talk about the change in quantity, not in the change in price. So what we use is the original price. If it was labor variance, you would use the original rate, not the revised rate or the actual rate. Does that make sense? So this is our usage planning variance, the figure below. Which is adverse, because we changed a few things in plan. And then we have usage, operational variance, okay, which is failure. And then we have usage total, which is adverse. Even though we actually save money on using less, but the change in plan was more. Okay, the cost incurred in change in plan is more than the cost saved on change in actual use. So we have overall 65,000 more used. Okay, let me remove this so it doesn't confuse me. So if we look at total price variance, we have 274,400 more spent. If we look at total usage, we have 65,000 more spent. So this is total material cost variance. Total material variance or total material cost variance. We have spent 339,400 more on material. 274,000 because of price, 65,000 because of usage. Now, we saved 68,000 in price in terms of operational variance, but we incurred 343,000 more in terms of planning. So in both cases, it is the responsibility of planning. So they said here, assess the performance of the production manager for the month of November. Okay? Which is B. So total material variance. Okay. We have total material variance of how much total? 339,400. Okay, adverse. The production manager doesn't seem to be fully responsible for it. Why? If we look at the breakdown of the variance, yeah? We have material, price, planning variance. The material, price, planning variance is how much? 343,000 adverse. Okay, the production manager is not responsible for this, as he is not involved in standard setting. This variance arises because the plan was not correct, as the 20% increase in market price was not estimated in budget. Doesn't make sense.
It's easy to comment about where we know the calculation.
Yeah.
Even before calculation, you can at least say what.
Or you need practice.
Yeah.
In order to be able to comment, you need to write comments, okay? What students do is, they look at the answer and they say, okay, this is my comment. No, you have to actually write it.
Yes.
If you don't write comment, let me tell you, if you are answering a question and you don't write comment on it now, you will not be able to comment on it in exam. Okay? It is like giving speech.
Yeah.
You prepare a speech for an occasion and you say, well, give a very good speech. But the actual result is not as you expected. The same thing is with questions. Your performance in the exam is going to be less than what you do in class or home or whatever. So if you can't comment in class or in home when you are practicing, you will not be able to comment an exam. Okay? Don't think, okay, I will do it in exam. No, if you can't do it now, you can't do it in exam. Okay? We have material, price, operational variance. Material. Okay, what I can do? The material, price, operational variance. Is favorable, yeah? How much favorable? 68,600. Favorable. The production manager is responsible for this. Is, remove the not. As he is involved in day-to-day operations and purchase, yeah? Specifically, he said he's involved in purchasing, if you see here. For all buying and any production issues which occur, although he is not responsible for. Okay.
Oh, he accept that because it's favorable. Yes.
Yeah.
The manager accept that because it's favorable.
Yeah. The variance arises because
take responsibility on him.
the actual purchase was done cheaper. Okay. And manager should be rewarded for this. Yeah.
Yes.
They didn't ask for suggestion.
Well, we can write it.
Manager should be rewarded for it. Which manager? Production manager. Normally, this would not be responsibility of production manager. Let me write here. Okay. Normally, this would not be.
Which person? The boy?
This purchasing.
Yeah.
Responsibility of production manager. Whose responsibility would it be?
They might have a purchase manager.
Yeah, procurement or purchasing
And logistics.
manager or whatever it is called.
Yeah.
Okay, but in this question,
They say that
specifically it says, okay,
it's better to write that.
then we have material, usage, planning, variance. The material usage, planning variances. See, I'm changing a few things, yeah? So, 120,000 adverse. Production manager is not responsible for this, as he's not involved in standard setting. Yeah? The variance arises because the plan was not correct, as
There was
the change
10% extra.
in design was not estimated in budget. Okay.
You can also mention the 10% practice.
Yeah. Was it 10%?
Yes.
Or 10%, not 10% change? The 10% more usage
No.
and change in design was not estimated. Okay. Then I can copy this because the wording here is very similar. Remember, it's not about hard working, it's about smart working, okay? I can just change this to usage operation variance, yeah? And the material usage operational variance is how much favorable? 55,000. 55,000. The production manager is responsible for this as he is involved in day-to-day operations. Remove this one. The variances arises because actual usage was less than standard. Okay. Which standard? Revised. Yeah, production manager should be rewarded for this. Conclusion. Let's form a conclusion as well.
Sir, we can also include.
Overall, the production manager has saved us $68,600 and $55,000. Plus 55,000. Okay. So his performance is reward. What? New term. Yeah? Does it make sense? So this is your operational and planning variance. Remember, it is exactly the same for labor. Yeah? Because I explain in basic variances, the way you calculate labor and material is very similar. Okay? So you are changing, you are just looking at the new information that is given.